every time he say he gonna do something, it's solid gold. I want y'all to put y'all hands together for my main man, because he your brother too. Y'all put y'all hands together right now for my man, Dichotomy, y'all. Clap it up for Dichotomy. If you ain't clapping, you hating. I'm scratching your head over that shit I just said.
How's everybody doing? Y'all doing all right? That's what's up. So my name is Dichotomy. I live in Atlanta, but I'm just down here working. So I'm about to go to Atlanta and tell everybody that shit and act like I'm the one that made it up. Like I knew it myself. I ain't gonna tell my guy like act like I'm just trying to bless him with some knowledge. So I'm gonna do this for him and I'm gonna get out of your way.
You don't.
Okay. Does anybody know what a dichotomy is, first of all? Anybody know? A dichotomy is two opposites, two contradicting things that come from the same place. So I go by the name Dichotomy, but my real name is Vincent Maurice. I was named after my mother's two brothers, and even though Uncle Vincent was this upstanding God-fearing man, I can't say the same for the other because Maurice, that nigga was a beast in the streets. What some might describe as a hustler. And even though I rarely had a chance to speak to the man, I knew when I did I couldn't trust him, but it doesn't matter because he's my uncle. And for that reason, I will always love him. Or should I say, I would have always loved him. Because it was those North Nashville streets that was still his heartbeat that day that those dudes got to busting. And even though the bullets weren't meant for him, it's his body that caught the majority of them now, I can't make him stand up here and make him seem like he was an angel. Because the reality is that he wasn't. But the life that he led doesn't mean he deserves to be dead, because I'm telling you now that it doesn't. And for anybody who would say that it does, try explaining that to my two fatherless cousins who, like me, is trying to figure out how much in him is leftovers. Now, when my uncle was alive, I never wanted him to think that I was above him. So when I see dudes in the streets doing the same thing, I try my best not to judge them. Because I realize that at the end of the day, sometimes circumstances makes it this way. It puts brothers in a difficult position. And when you ain't got nothing to eat and there's money in the streets, you gonna do what you gotta do to get a pot to piss in. And quite frankly, what else do they expect our brothers to do in other ways to get money is missing? And see, that is the reason why I wrote this piece, because here's something that deserves to be mentioned. Now, even though I lost my uncle to gang violence, I've never been one to knock another man's hustle. And I still have respect for the gang. And understanding what leads a brother to do this in the first place, I'm not even gonna say the hustler's to blame. Because I have slept in my car and lived in the park, so I'm not gonna say I was intended to do the same. But there comes a point in your life where you look at our community strife, you gotta think this shit's gotta change. Let's not get it confused, the hood's paid its dues, and right now it's expecting some change. And that change has to start with you. It has to start with me. You see, I realized that I can no longer only be concerned with the well-being of those kids that are close to me. Because it is that complacency that is making these kids think that this is how things are supposed to be. That their current set of circumstances forever defines them and makes it impossible for their goals to reach. That even though they want to do something different, hustling's what they have to be, not what they chose to be. And we gotta show them something different, and I understand that that goes for me. And that's why dudes that were once my friends now have to be foes to me. Y'all please believe. We can no longer subscribe to the tenet that those who are trying to clean up our communities are doing nothing more than snitching. Because pardon my French, because I think it is those that are out there destroying it are really the ones that should stop bitching. Because your actions are built on karma. So you can't fuck with a dirty game and then wonder why your cock's itching. See, instead of trying to be a harder nigga, why not try to be a father figure? Because that's really what the block's missing. See, we are glorifying the lifestyle that is defaming our women, putting priorities in our lives that are not our children. And some of us don't even realize it until the kids praying to God that he blesses the family and your name's not mentioned. But how can he miss what to him is not existing? You see, it may take a village to raise a child, but the absence of a single male can fail him. And how is it we expect these boys to grow up to be men when there's not a man around to tell him? So instead he's falling victim to a society, quite frankly, is willing to sell him short. That thinks instead of educating it's easier to jail him. And now he's hanging by a thread that's real thin, asking for us to help him. So what are we gonna tell him? Black men, we are at a point now where we have to become vehicles of change. But the difficulty is while half of us are trying to move forward focused, the other half are trying to dodge magnums. Looking for answers in the streets where entire time God's had them. You see, we need to be teaching our youth the truth more than lies. But instead they're involved in black on black crimes. They're learning to Q45. So from this moment until infinity, we gotta teach them that we are not the enemy. You see, you all may not think that you're revolutionaries. But contrary to popular opinion, everybody in here is part of a revolution, part of the solution. Where we have to go from young black males too often associated with guns, crack, and jail to African American men. Determined to make a change where this all must begin. Our communities. We must go from referring to our women as bitches and hoes to supporting them as women with goals. Because they are the backbone of every family. So I'm asking you to say something, do something, be something that will help our communities and increase our peace. Because my real name is Vincent Maurice. I was named after my mother's two brothers, and even though Uncle Vincent was this upstanding, God-fearing man, I can't say the same for the other because Maurice, well, he's my uncle that's now deceased. And I lost him without getting justice. But I carry his name, so that his death's not in vain, and my will to make change because of him. Y'all help me make change. Rest in peace, Maurice.